had a seat on a private jet that I didn't get to ride on.
He would get fake tits for $50,000.
Dude, me and Ben had a sick jet ski rip.
As long as you guys didn't go watch the sunset or anything.
No, we did. Don't be posting that buzz cutter. You'll be getting drafted right away.
Not very often are you like sitting there thinking about the safety of our country.
Shopify powers millions of businesses around the world, including 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S. That includes giants like Mattel and Gymshark, and also people like you getting started doing it their way. Turn those dreams into and give them the best shot at success with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period and start selling online today at shopify.com/wide-open. Go to shopify.com/wide-open. That is shopify.com/wide-open. You can only hear out of your right side due to the cake?
No, the cake is on the right side.
That was the unfortunate part about that whole ordeal.
Yeah.
You're still dealing with that?
Yes, I have an infection on one side and I'm deaf on the other.
You should have done the hydrogen peroxide thing I did
I've
in
been
Powell this
pouring all
weekend.
kinds of shit in my ear.
Well, maybe that's
Putting
the
hydrogen
problem.
peroxide.
You were pouring that honey that CJ got in there.
Wait, you still have cake in
Still
your
doing
ear?
that.
No, I think I have like an infection from the cake that was in my ear.
That's
Oh, wow.
concerning,
Dude,
bro.
that's happened 2 times now.
Dude, he has a 50-50 shot of hitting the ear that doesn't matter, and both times smacks it in the
Well,
one
I
that
think you
does.
could still get an infection in your other ear.
But it won't matter.
It would
Well,
still hurt.
I don't think you'd want to run around with an infection in your ear.
Yeah, it just feels like I have like liquid in it all the time. Like, it doesn't hurt that bad. It just feels like it's half plugged.
I almost wonder if you should go to like a ear, throat, and nose doctor because they can flush that out, or even just go to it. Like one time, I had to go to the emergency room when I was in high school because it got clogged full of wax. I basically ended up packing it to the eardrum, and I was deaf in that ear. Wrote it out for like 5 days until I missed my alarm because I couldn't hear. Then my mom was like, "All right, we're going to the ER," and then they just took a thing. Whoosh. It felt so good.
Dude, see,
It felt so good.
I don't think it feels good. I've had it done before.
Oh.
It feels so icky.
Same thing happened to me. Just a pro tip, you don't need to go to the ER unless it's like really hurting. But yeah, you just squirt that in there and it's concerning the amount of
Unless you
wax
have
that
the
comes
thing.
out.
I guess if
Yeah.
you don't have the thing, go there. But like
They got
it
it
was
at
like
CVS,
quite a
Walgreens.
bit of pressure.
Well, I think, you know, it kind of
Sounds
could go
scary.
either way. Like, I don't really like the feeling you do. It's probably like a
Yeah.
colonoscopy. Like, some people hate it.
You'd probably like
Oh,
that.
they-
I wouldn't.
Not me.
Spenny would love it, dude.
Come on now.
Spenny's just catching strays sitting over there on the side.
Yeah, he's not here to defend himself. No, I used to get earaches all the time from swimming, like swimmer's ear.
Yeah, you like don't swim now because of it, right?
Well, I don't swim for many reasons, Ryan,
Sharks.
but that's just one of them. Another pro tip, if you get water in your ear from swimming, pour hydrogen peroxide or rubbing alcohol. No, not hydrogen peroxide, rubbing alcohol.
Oh, we use hydrogen peroxide.
Oh, is there a difference?
I don't know. It was the
yeah.
brown bottle.
No, it wasn't the brown bottle. It was the clear one.
No, we used the brown bottle today or on this weekend.
No, we used the clear one.
It was brown. I watched
Was
you
it?
do it.
Oh, shit. I might
That's
have been more drunk than I
hydrogen
thought. I don't know if I should have been doing that, Ryan. Holy shit.
Ben was
actually,
my doctor.
I don't know if I should have
No,
done that to
hydrogen
you.
peroxide in your ear is okay.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I
guess
think it's okay.
I'd never done that.
Okay.
That makes
Oh
me
my
really
God,
nervous.
Ryan. I'm glad that you were okay.
I'm glad we didn't talk about that because it felt like pop rocks in my ear. Like
I
it
think
was
it's a
literally.
cool- I guess kind of what Evan said. Like, I think it's a cool feeling.
Yeah, I think if you know you're gonna like stand up and your ear isn't gonna fall off zombie style, then it's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have been playing doctor after that many Tonys, but rubbing alcohol, you pour it into your ear and you sit there for like 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and then you stand up and you dump it out and it like takes the water with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's changed my life finding that out
Dude,
though.
speaking of swimming, did you guys see? I was swimming this weekend. Well, you guys always say.
Did you learn how to swim?
Yeah, I did all right. I just kind of winged it.
The barrel locker almost like floated you up to
Barrel
the surface.
locker.
Or the burger locker.
So you're swimming for the first time?
Well, no, I just wanted you guys all to acknowledge that I was swimming because you always
Yeah, I'm
say
proud
that
of you.
that I can't. So
It'd take quite a bit of courage to do that gainer backflip off the top of that thing. That was insane, dude.
that was actually like the mid level. We were even going up one more story off the railing.
Bro, you kind of...
Courage.
Dude, you know, don't take this the wrong way. Take this as a compliment. But you're kind of like holding it down for the slightly bigger guys. You know, like you're like doing extreme sports.
Fat gainer. Look
Like
at the
that's pretty
extension.
sick, dude. That's some good extension.
All right, so the reason Evan was swimming this weekend was we went on my bachelor party. Ryan did a very good job. I just got to preface that right now. You guys heard we're going to Lake Powell. Lake Powell blew my mind. Maybe not even speaking for myself. I just didn't expect it to be so big, so massive, cascading walls, hundreds and hundreds of feet deep in some spots, like hours and hours to get across from one point to another. It was epic. We were 25 total males were on a 3-story houseboat this weekend, and it was over an hour drive to get out there on a boat. So like we were out there. We were outside.
Yeah, to put in perspective of how big Lake Powell is, there's more frontage of shoreline on Lake Powell than on the entire West Coast.
That's freaking crazy.
Yeah.
I knew we were going out there. Like when we booked this trip, they were like, yeah, you know, we're going to be way out there. You're not just going to be running back to the marina or whatever. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. You know, it's probably going to be like, you know, CJ's house to like twice as far as Zorba's. I figured it was going to be like in view damn near. And we went 42 miles.
Yeah.
42 miles from the marina. It's like 2 hours in a wake boat at full throttle. We were all loaded down with our suitcases and shit. Like we were out there.
How big was that wake boat?
We were on a 24-footer with all of our suitcases, 16 people and 16, 17
it was 24
suitcases.
feet only?
Yeah.
Yeah,
dude,
we
I figured it was
were
the
packed
big
in there
boy,
like
what
sardines.
we used to have.
full
Yeah.
throttle, topping at 18.
So I didn't go because the night before, basically, I was super sick, and I just was like, I can't do it. I have to bail out last minute, which sucked. So, like, I honestly don't really know what all went down. I was just too bummed out to even watch your guys' stories. I could not watch.
I did feel bad, dude.
I couldn't even look at them. I still haven't. Like, it's probably going to be hard for me to watch. I'll probably be over it by the time a video comes out. But I was so bummed about it. So, like, I know as much as the listener does, which is nothing.
Dude, I felt very bad, like, posting stories knowing that you were supposed to be there.
Couldn't even do it.
And you were just going to watch it with, like, FOMO. Because it's, like, one thing if, like, you're not there and you're like, oh, it looks like you're having fun. But it's one thing if you were supposed to be there.
Right.
You know,
If
so
you're
I
invited.
did feel bad. But everyone also the entire time was like, oh, this is sick. Wish CJ was here.
Well, thanks, guys.
Yeah, you
I
were
appreciate
missed.
it. And then on top of that, just the fact that Justin's batch party was such a legendary time. Like, we're still talking about it 4 or 5 years later. I was just like, I'm missing out on something that we're going to be talking about for probably ever, which sucks. And then on top of that, the fact that we bought a private jet, like I had a seat on a private jet, not fucking cheap, that I didn't get to ride on, but whatever, you know.
That's baller right
that's
there,
how.
dude.
Yeah, I know. I did think about that when I was sitting at home. I was like, there's only one thing more baller than riding on a private jet, and that's paying for it and not even hopping
going
on it.
The worst part is like it was like such late notice of you canceling out.
I
It was just an empty seat, and then like
I know
everyone else that flew commercial was like, damn, would have been nice to have that seat, huh?
Well, I kind of pulled out. Yeah, I mean, it was probably like 4 or 5 in the morning. I was just like, there's no way I'm sitting on a boat for 3 days feeling like this. Like, rocking is going to be 110 degrees.
It would have
There's
been
no
tough.
fucking way.
It would have been. I think you made the right call.
I actually do feel like I did.
Yeah.
But I'm just still bummed about it. But anyway, so I'm in the same boat as the listener. I don't know that much. But yeah, so a 2-hour ride on a wake boat it's a long journey.
Let me tell you how the morning started, though. Not to rub this in a little bit more. It starts out hot. Ken walks into the room. He's wearing the widest pants that anybody's ever seen.
I saw those. He
Right?
was wearing them at home. He
So-
was wearing them at home. Well, I go, what the fuck
Did
is
you
this guy
die
doing
laughing?
now?
Because I did.
I think my favorite part is Ken was wearing like the widest load pants you'll ever see, but his shirt was like one size too small. So it was a little out of proportion.
50-inch legs.
Each leg opening was 50 inches, which when I bought them, that was the biggest in stock size leg opening Jinko
Bro.
had.
I could see Dalton wearing those.
Each leg.
No, I can
is
see Spenny
much
wearing those. Like actually, Spenny would run those.
considerably bigger than the waist side. Is each
Each leg, yeah.
it's insane.
So what happened to Jinkos though? Like real quick, they just went out of
Style.
Out of
They were
style?
just too wide.
I mean, yeah, I was just going to
Too
say,
wide.
like, I'll be the one to say it. They're insane looking.
Well, they're not cheap either.
Yeah, they're kind of.
well, it's more denim.
Well, yeah, it's double, if not
Yeah.
triple the denim. As
It's a
normal
lot of
pair
material.
trousers.
It's double the material.
That's
of a pair
true.
of skinny jeans.
At
Were
some
they
point, you
double
gotta-
the pair of your jeans that they painted on?
Yeah, they were double the price of my.
Wow.
Damn.
You could make 3 pairs of those skinny jeans out of
Yeah,
those.
easily.
Probably, yeah.
So, yeah, Ken rolls up in those.
Ken sets the tone by wearing the widest pants that anybody's ever seen, right? The boys are immediately just laughing. We're just firing already. And so we're like, we had a set time that we were supposed to leave, and we check Mike's location. Where is he? 45 minutes away.
Not true.
And we were supposed to leave in
Not
like
true.
5 minutes.
38
I
minutes
was
away.
10 minutes. You guys said you were leaving at 9:30, and I got to the shop at 9:28.
We were all at the shop ready to go,
The-
and
the
you
jet
were
was
just like hitting the downer road.
Yeah, well, that's when I got to the shop. Or
So
would've got to
so
the
we're
shop.
like, well, the jet's not gonna leave him, but we were like, we probably should get there so they know like somebody's at least hopping on this thing, right? So we go to the airport and I call Mike and I was like, yo, Mike, just meet us at the airport and we'll meet you literally on the runway. And so we're standing there and Mike comes around the corner in his Viper and he pulls up and he parks it right in front of the jet and he hops out, throws his bags in it, and I was standing there just like it brought a tear to my eye. Like I was just like, this has got to be the most baller thing I've ever seen Mike do.
And
And he's on his way to his bachelor party and he just pulled up in his Viper. Bro, it was so sick.
It was easily the most baller thing I have ever done.
That was awesome,
And
Mike.
the pilots were amazing.
Super
They
nice.
liked it?
Yeah,
They
loved
loved it. Yeah. They were just like immediately on the same level as we were.
And they were saying, like, obviously we were there to have fun. So no matter how big or small our group would have been on the plane, they would have loved us. But they said that they usually just fly 1 to 2 guys. So he's
Really?
like,
That thing was packed.
7 of you guys,
Yeah.
like, all ready
Having
to party.
fun?
Yeah, he was like,
really fun.
this is super rare to fly like eight people like this. He was like, usually it's just 1 or 2.
Who's buying a private jet for just one person?
Mega important.
Dude, people that treat it like an Uber.
Yeah.
The craziest thing to me was just walking onto the plane with a crisper full of beers.
Yeah, I bet you love that.
I
That was pretty
it was
awesome,
amazing.
wasn't it?
So we hop on. We're immediately joking with the pilots, like, what's the weight limit on this thing? And Gavin's like, because I'm going to try and bring a couple girls home if we can. And these guys are like, what kind of girls are you into? And he's like, big ones, 380. You know, so,
Bro, he needs
and
to
so
tone it down.
the pilot is
They're like,
immediately
this
like,
guy's just sick.
we hop on there, bro, and we're still sitting there. And they're just like, the pilots are in the front, the cockpit, like, you know, flicking all the buttons and shit, right? And Gavin looks over and goes, I think I could drink 5 Tonys before we take off.
And then I'm just immediately like, absolutely, $100 on it. Let's go. And he gets 4 in right before we
Holy
take
crap,
off.
he
He's
must
just
have been Larry.
teary-eyed, about to throw up.
Like, yeah, doing the thing where he
Yeah.
goes like, and I'm like, we haven't even taken off yet. And they're
Throws
gonna
him
be
on
like,
the
we
plane.
can't now.
I'm fine.
I'm fine.
What's the bill look like if you throw up on a private jet?
I don't know.
It's got to be more than an Uber. I'll tell you that much. Uber's like $500
The
bucks.
thing was, the Tonys were as cold as they're gonna get.
Yeah.
Out of the fridge into a cooler full of ice, and then he just starts.
Yeah, it was tough.
It was
Just a crisp.
Insane.
Tony.
Yeah.
Doesn't get
Insane.
much better than that.
And you got 4 in though, and he was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. And you might have even gotten 4.5 in, like just before accomplishing it. And he was like, I can't do it.
And then he just immediately, like, as soon as he said, I can't do it, takes out his billfold and starts giving me 100. I'm like, that was not a part of the deal. And I was like, you might as well try to finish.
Ryan was the only voice of reason there. Like, I don't want to say we were overly encouraging it, but we definitely
Yeah,
weren't
you are.
discouraging it. And Ryan's like, Gav, you don't need to do this. Is it worth it?
5 Tonys is a lot.
It is.
In a matter of 15 minutes.
At
Puts you
10
into the
a.m.?
middle.
It's completely different than
That's
even
so
drinking 5 beers. Because,
Yeah.
like, how much more? That's almost like, I'd say a beer and a half, a Tony.
Nah, it's
In terms of
5%.
alcohol
Most
content,
beers,
yeah.
4.2
Oh.
to 5.
So a
Depending.
little bit more.
Yeah.
But that puts
Either
you
way.
right into the middle of the Tony paradox, which is a scary
Yeah.
place to be.
Yeah, the craziest part though is like you were like, oh, he had to have been pretty lit. Dude,
Not
to
even
this
close.
day, I don't know if I've ever seen Gavin actually drunk.
I would second that. I've
Dude,
probably
I don't
seen
know.
him
The
drunk
dude
1
is
to
so
2 times.
he's so
True.
big,
I think he just acts so
drunk all the time.
Goofy.
You don't know.
that it's hard to tell from when he's drunk to when he's just normal.
I think he sweats a little more. That's how you can tell.
Yeah,
he gets
his
a little
face
more.
is all red.
Yeah.
It's
His hat
his
will go
nose
like
has
this.
a constant like 17 beads of sweat on it.
His hat
like a
kind of like
dog.
gets more back too. Like it'll get like barely on.
Yeah.
Like it's just hanging on by a thread.
You wouldn't think so, but he actually gets a couple notches louder, just a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. So the flight, obviously, for everyone went great. And then we pulled up to the airport and we get in. We have 2 trucks for 15 of us. And so we're like, it's
Oh,
it's
fuck.
literally 107 degrees on the tarmac, and 7 of us in the front of a Raptor and another 5 in the back.
But under a black topper.
Yeah.
Black truck, black topper.
Dude, it was just like,
And everyone's like, private jet to this. What
Yeah.
the fuck?
You guys would have thought you were going over the border.
dude, that's kind of how it felt.
We were drinking a hot bottle of wine in the back.
Oh, yeah.
And it's 107
Yeah.
degrees. It was an
And then-
experience there.
Then we, 15-minute drive to the marina, And then you can't walk down to where the boats are. You have to get a ride from the guys there. So everybody piles in some Kawasaki mules down to the marina. Then we're down at the marina. We're waiting on Jake. Jake drove from Phoenix to Page 5 hours. He was topping his Audi A4 out. And then
That's a car for Jake. That's a better car for him, I think.
he was he pulls
Audi
up,
A4.
and then that's when we hit that almost 2-hour ride out to the houseboat. Everybody had the same vibe of like, we're in there, boys. We're doing this. And
Be
yeah,
outside.
It was out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
as you can imagine, there wasn't any like going out. There was no like,
Yeah.
it was just you
You
either
were
want to
on
get
that
in the
thing.
water or you want to hike or you're on the boat. That's it.
Yeah, we got out there and immediately like Gavin and Dalton are like, "We're the chicks." Like we are in the middle of nowhere.
They were
and they
expecting
didn't
you
they
to
didn't
show
know
up to
what
some
we were getting into.
sandbar.
Yeah, they exactly.
They're
Yeah,
like,
they
"What
were like,
the
"This
fuck
is
is
so
this?"
sick. We're going like do this lit lake and like I'm sure there's going to be so many people
You
there."
just assume.
Dude, it was desolate.
Some people didn't realize there was a difference between Lake Powell
Yeah.
and Lake Havasu.
And-
Oh yeah.
Just Google Lake Havasu and Lake Powell, and one you will see big giant boats with a bunch of chicks with bolt-ons flashing the camera, and then one of them you will see pictures of nature.
Yeah.
We went to the one with the
I
nature.
was telling Alex Lake Havasu the whole time leading up to it too. So she
Oh,
thought we were
shit.
going to Lake Havasu until that night. I was like, "Oh, it turns out we're going to Lake Powell, not Havasu."
Big
You see-
difference.
Yeah, see, that's you had to be nervous. I mean, you'll be good, but still.
But yeah, there's no such thing as like sandbar or any meetup spot really at all.
Yeah, it was just like super desolate. Like there's houseboats, which I didn't really know what a houseboat was until being there, of like the scale of these houseboats, right? Like they are literal yachts, but they're not yachts because they want to be able to pull up to the shoreline. And you can't do that in a yacht, apparently. I was learning all this as I was asking these questions of like,
Interviewing.
dude, I can't describe to you how much money it takes to like play out there. Like it's not like you just get a boat. It doesn't matter what kind of boat it is. It could be a fishing boat and you can go and enjoy the same as anyone else there. It's like, dude, these houseboats are like $1 million, $2, $3, $4, $5, $6 million houseboats, right? They're like literal mansions on water. And the dinghies for these houseboats are like the nicest boats that you've ever seen around here. It's like a $500,000 wakeboard boat.
Yeah.
Is just their dinghy on these things. So it's like if you were in like the harbor of Miami, right? And you see all these big yachts. That's like the equivalent of just driving around Lake Powell, but there's these houseboats that are like tucked into these little coves because like it's quite opposite of what you would imagine like going to the lake and going to like a party lake would be. It's like these people get out there and they want to just like be completely alone and not be surrounded by anyone, right? So there's like all these different like little veins and coves of like these $1 million houseboats just stanced up and a bunch of people like on them, but no one was like together.
And on average, guess how much they cost to fill up, depending on how much fuel is.
Probably 10 grand.
Yep. 10 to
About-
12
Yeah.
grand.
On the
1,000
light
gallon
side.
fuel tank, and it's $9.50 a gallon
Yeah.
for dockside.
They just ream you on.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, no matter if you're filling up on the lake, like you're paying for the convenience of not having to lug your gas cans.
But that was the downside, is that the tanks were so big. There's no such thing as like, hey, you bring your fuel truck down here or something
Yeah.
from the shore. It's just not a thing. That was
It
unfortunate.
was cool. So the fuel tanks are so big because when you're out there, you got to run the generator for power on everything. So that's built in, and then there's like a fuel pump on it, so you can fill up all the jet skis, the wake boat, and all that. You pump right back out of the.
Yeah. Was
Bro,
there
we
AC?
should have limited the gas on those jet skis. Once we got freaking
Oh, we
Gavin
were-
and Jake on those
Dude,
things,
we were
dude.
burning.
I
They
can't
wouldn't stop
believe
or what?
Gav didn't
No.
hurt somebody
Run
or himself.
Yeah.
Well, Jake is intentionally being dangerous.
Yeah.
And then Gavin is unintentionally being dangerous. You're watching like
Gavin's just trying to ride.
yeah, you're just two people that don't know what each other's about to do out there driving as close as they can. Like it's textbook bad jet skiing. It's like the
Going
first
towards
day.
each other. Just,
Yeah, trying to spray each other.
Yeah,
but
they
neither of them
would-
know how to spray.
They would try and spray each other, but Gavin is so bad at judging his. I don't know. He's not. He's so bad at judging his distance of when he should turn. Right. So he's like turning last second, and then Jake luckily is like you got
Kinda getting out of the way.
Yeah, he's kind of just like driving forward a little bit so Gavin doesn't hit him. But then Gavin's like, oh, I didn't hit him, so I'm going to try and get closer the next time.
It's like that classic jet ski move when you bounce off each other's wake. Like you should hit each other if you would have been on ground. Ryan legitimately told him to park it.
It's his situational awareness. Yeah. He sprayed the entire boat, like cameras, cell phones, like a dozen times. Like unintentional. Well, you know how the jet skis, they shoot the water out the so we just like turn around, give it some gas, just shoot that in. Or we're going across the lake at like 25 miles an hour and he just comes up next to us and just hangs a turn, just cooks the whole boat.
Shopify powers millions of businesses around the world, including 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S. That includes giants like Mattel and Gymshark, and also people like you getting started doing it their way. But if you're worried you can't design a website, there's no stress. Shopify's got stunning templates that match your style right out of the box. That way you can customize without any coding experience. Or if you need help making your store pop, their built-in AI tools handle everything from writing product descriptions to boosting your photos and creating discount codes. Plus, Shopify helps you launch email and social campaigns with just a few clicks. So if you got a podcast, a passion, or an idea, build it with Shopify. Head to Shopify.com and get started today, just like we did with CboysTV.com. Turn those dreams into and give them the best shot at success with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period and start selling online today at Shopify.com/wideopen. Go to Shopify.com/wideopen. That is Shopify.com/wideopen. Finding clothes that are stylish and fit good is hard. I'm thankful that I now found Quince. Their lightweight layers and high-quality clothes have become some of my everyday essentials. Quince has the kind of stuff that you'll actually wear on repeat, like breathable flow knit polos, crisp cotton shirts, and comfortable lightweight pants that work for both weekend hangs and dressed-up dinners. Seriously, I love their shirts and their pants. They're some of the nicest that I own. Quince feels expensive, but is half the cost of similar brands because they cut out the middleman. I love my Quince garments, and you will too. They are seriously some of the nice shirts that I own, and the girlfriend loves them too. Stick to the staples that last with elevated essentials from Quince. Go to quince.com/wideopen for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/wideopen to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/wideopen. Thank you very much to Quince for sponsoring this week's podcast.
Or
he's like,
what
did I do?
The boat's clipping along, right? And it's got the wake behind it. Gavin would come up and then jump off the wake and then land next to the boat.
Damn,
and then
fall into it.
No, he would land, and then on the land, it would splash everyone on the side, and he wouldn't even look over because he wouldn't even know that he did it. And everyone's just dripping. Dalton standing there with the camera, just, what the fuck is wrong with you, Gav? You are such an idiot.
So Dalton was beefing with Gav a little bit.
A little bit. He does get a little frustrated.
Yeah,
Dalton's
he
kinda got
he
one
would,
guy
but I'm like,
beefing
dude,
with.
he's like a fucking puppy dog that doesn't know
He's a
that he's
golden retriever.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
a golden. He's like you can't get mad at this guy.
So tell me what the inside of this houseboat's like. Like, very nice. Was there AC? Like, how was it?
There
Compare it
was
to a
this
nice
nice
RV, like
Yeah,
a real nice RV.
Yep.
But
I will
bigger,
say-
bigger.
The nice thing was the bathrooms weren't RV bathrooms. You
Yeah.
did have the RV style toilet where you flush with
Yeah.
your foot, but like the bathrooms were big. I was expecting, kind of like really small and whatever, but they were big.
Full size shower, like
Yeah.
plenty of square feet in there where you're not crammed like a
I mean,
motor.
But anyway.
that was a kind of weird part. I mean, we were living pretty lavish on this houseboat, but a couple of the guys from the Powellheads group, they ripped probably like 40 games of Fortnite over the weekend. Because, dude, so no service, but Starlink, shout out Starlink.
Dude,
The
Starlink
internet
is
just
insane.
good. Like, we had 3 Starlinks there, I believe.
4.
And everybody had internet. Just everybody had dialed internet. Like, we were, posting and uploading, downloading, and yeah, they were ripping Fortnite. It was hilarious.
Wait, so like inside?
Yeah, in the living room. And then we watched the latest video. That was pretty cool.
So they just didn't care about being on the water, or what? They're just out there so much.
Oh,
I think
they
they
just were out there so much.
They were
that
just there
yeah.
mostly just to entertain us.
Yeah.
Like, shout out Powellheads. They had us out with the houseboat, all the jet skis, the wakeboard boat. They lined everything else up for us. It was so sick. Like, the hospitality, as every time we go to Utah, Mormons,
Yeah.
unbelievable people.
They're
Next level.
Mormons?
Next level. As soon as I found out they were Mormons, I was like, oh, we're in good hands.
Yeah.
This is going to be awesome.
You know what was the cherry on top, though, that really made me just bummed was when Heavy D pulled up. pulling up with the Blackhawk, and he got his freaking Blackhawk carrier, and like just all his whole crew was there.
It was crazy. So apparently you can't land a helicopter on the shores, on the banks of this thing, because
really?
it's like government land. It's like it's like
It's like a national park essentially.
national park protected, and then the other side is a reservation.
It's all Navajo land on
Navajo
the south,
land?
on the Arizona side.
Like I said, these guys out there, like with these houseboats, they got money. And what do guys with money have? They got helicopters. Well, what's a problem when you can't land your helicopter on the land to get to your houseboat? Barge. Landed on the lake. So Heavy D built this barge, essentially. It's just like a houseboat without a level on it. It's
honestly,
like the size of a houseboat, pretty much.
It was like 90 feet
Almost
long.
like an aircraft carrier for like the
Literally.
Navy.
Yep.
Yeah.
And sent his guys out, and then sure enough, he came, landed on the barge. Dude, it was so sketchy, though. Like
it was sketchy. Dude,
Oh,
the first
bro.
landing, he's like, I can't remember what he was saying that I was now like in, but I was a part of the flying team where he told me to land. He's like,
Said
tell me
check.
where we are on the barge so we can land. I'm like, I don't think I'm qualified. He's like, you're the only guy here, man. Like, just call it out.
I was expecting the barge to be like so much bigger because there was 5 feet on either side of the helicopter wheels. Like that's
That's
Not
pretty
that much.
narrow.
not that much.
he picked Ryan up to go and get more booze.
Yeah, so it was actually sick. I got in the boat with him,
Saw that, yeah.
and then we went all the way back, and then we went to the booze store, and then hopped in the helicopter and went back.
That's sick. How long of a helicopter flight was it?
10 minutes.
15 minutes.
Oh, it was a 15
10
minute.
minutes,
chopper
Super
flight?
fast in the
But
helicopter.
in a boat, it's 2 hours.
Yeah.
That's actually
So the
pretty
helicopter
crazy.
was super clutch.
Where'd you
Yeah.
land that thing in the parking lot?
No, we landed at the airport and then drove to
okay,
the
I
store.
see.
It was a pretty small town.
Yeah, I did end up drinking.
Oh,
You did?
I did. I took a shot of Casa Azul on the helicopter on the second to last day.
Pretty legendary.
like-
Yeah, you kind of gotta.
Once we were on Saturday, I was just like chilling. We had some other goodies there, and once I saw how hungover everyone was on Saturday, I actually was like, "Dude, you guys all look like shit." Granted, I did too. We were just so sleepless, but on the last day, we're in the helicopter, doors open, flying over the canyons. Ken snuck the bottle of $175 tequila on, and I'm like, I can't not.
if that's
you
the
have to
last
sneak
time
on?
that you drink, Mike, it's going to be a very legendary moment.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
So how was it? Were you like, ooh, I like this. I want to do a little more of it.
Let's just say I do remember how tasty it was.
Really? You
Yeah.
thought it was tasty?
Yeah, like
I mean,
I wasn't
Clase
like,
Azul is
"Ooh,"
good,
yeah, I know.
but it's still
I was
not
just
that
like,
good. It's not like drinking a beer or
Yeah.
a Tony that's like refreshing.
no, it was good. It was good. It was
Ooh.
just like such a. It didn't even obviously. It didn't feel real. Like being up in the helicopter like that with the doors open. He'll ride up in the flats, and the flats just feel like a desert. And then you go. It's essentially like the Grand Canyon, and you kind of like. He'll tip over the edge, like
Yeah.
turn the helicopter sideways while the doors are open, and it dumps over a 400-foot cliff. The most badass feeling ever.
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, obviously you've been up there,
Yeah.
but like it was cool having all of our external friends
That haven't.
Yeah.
that
That's
haven't
what
Best
makes
part.
it extra
and
fun.
seeing their reactions to it.
I know, like Jeff was pumped, obviously.
Mark and Tin,
Mark
Jeff and
Tin,
Justin.
Spenny was
Justin,
like,
that's
"So
who I
this
would've
is Gavin.
really
America,
loved to
huh?"
see.
Spenny couldn't wrap his Canadian mind around a Blackhawk helicopter. He was like, dude, how can somebody own this thing, man? How is this legal, man?
Yeah, that was cool. And it was cool. We were having tons of fun up until then, and then Heavy D rolls up. He rolled up in a sweet houseboat, lots of toys.
Yeah, they just have it
And,
going on,
yeah.
man.
I would say this is probably, I mean, you guys listening on the podcast are aware that sometimes our tendencies aren't fully straight. The house, I mean, you guys, I mean, we can't go a podcast without talking about something
Fruity.
gay, fruity.
Oh, right.
Spenny's sweating over there on the couch.
No,
I don't know. Something's
it's
going
it's
on
like
around
probably the least straight I've seen everyone act.
here. Everyone was acting that way.
Not everyone. I mean, Ken's.
Let's
always-
just say my
His eyes
gaydar
pretty
was
good.
going off.
It
Ken
was
was
going
acting
Right? I'm
straight.
going to call it as I see it, right?
Your gaydar was going off, but you were also like dropping game missiles everywhere.
Well, yeah, I was. Hold on now. Hold on now.
Yeah, you were telling gay tales.
Yeah,
The gay tail, Spenny. I'm just calling it as I see it, man.
It was
It's okay
hilarious.
if you're
But
gay,
honestly,
Sonny.
like
I'd be honestly happy for you. as
Dude,
long
when
as you're
when
happy.
Spenny walks into the room and he's wearing a freaking pink hat that says Boat Mom, and he has a freshly cut crop top on, and when he's not wearing that, he's wearing a fucking fedora. I'm gonna call it as I see
that
it.
mustache, you know, it looks great, but it could give possibly like vibes.
Dude, one morning, I think it was Saturday morning when Spenny woke up, his mustache was covered in brisket.
Brisket? What do you mean?
He was hanging with the chef. And then we're like, Spenny, what's going on here? He's like, Ev, you got to risk it for the brisket.
Does anyone see a
Dude, he looks
resemblance?
like Freddie Mercury. He looks
Oh,
like
no.
Freddie Mercury. We should get him that outfit.
Hey, and don't forget what happened to Freddie Mercury.
Our gaydar has been on high alert. It seems like in the last month, like,
Yeah.
we've had friends that we were speculating, and then we were like, okay, never mind. They're in the clear. They're good. Then it just gets tossed onto a new guy, and it's like, okay, so now Spenny, like, you guys all came back. And it's
He's
like,
in the gay
Spenny,
sand
dude,
right
like,
now.
I don't know about him. I think he might be gay.
Well, I think it's because, like, Supercross did that whole pride thing, so now he feels more comfortable.
Supercross did a pride thing?
Yeah, what is up with that?
That didn't really seem target demo for them.
No, I think it was pretty heavily backlashed.
Yeah, they had to turn
People let
commenting
him
off
know.
pretty quick.
Spenny, you want to
Here,
defend yourself?
Spenny, you should hop in, but I want CJ in on this too, because I actually have a proposal.
What the fuck? You want a proposal between me and this guy?
In the height of me calling it as I was seeing it, we'll say that, Spenny had an idea that he pitched me, and that was he would get fake tits for $50,000.
No, I never
thought
proposed
You
that.
guys talked about
I
it. For,
never proposed
Yes, you
that.
did. All right. Cody Sherbrooke proposed it to me, asked if we would fund it, and if we would fund it, Spenny would do it.
Steve-O was talking about doing this.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so I went to Spenny. I said, "Is this true?" And he said, "I wouldn't do it for 50." I said, "Well, what's the price?" We landed on 75. We
And-
landed on
and
75,
to get
but
from-
we're gonna have a contract for deed where it's 50.
Ben's gonna own him for the first year.
It's $50,000 up front. He gets that, and then if he keeps them for the year, he gets $5,000 every 2 months.
Holy shit, dude!
To
You could
get-
just be coasting.
to get to this deal,
Yeah,
you
and
guys,
let's just say this, CJ, he's already finding what he's gonna buy with that $50,000. This
I
is
actually was mapping out what I was gonna
What are you
buy.
buying?
I was gonna go for a down payment on a house and a nice iced out chain.
what's the chain say? Nice tits.
Limited amount of people. Like, you'd be limiting the girls that you might be into and the guys that you also might be into, because like you're kind of in this in between space,
Yeah.
But also,
Bro.
you'd probably open yourself up to a new demographic.
Yeah.
Dude, I think you'd be the dirt bike guy with tits.
It could go good, but I'm
Yeah,
scared
it
that it
could
would go
go
bad.
bad.
I'm honestly scared that it would just ruin my life.
Being known as the dirt bike guy with tits, doesn't that sound awesome?
I mean, it would be pretty hilarious, but I'm scared it would ruin my life.
You could just gain a bunch of weight,
Yeah.
then you'd still be the dirt bike
Yeah,
guy.
keep it
with
natural.
tits.
Ben was the one who actually told me a full nighttime story about just gay things that he was thinking in his mind.
In his
Not
mind?
about me.
Not about me.
Wait, why were you putting them to sleep? Like, you guys were sleeping in the same bed?
Bro,
or
you know,
what?
we were just laying on an air mattress
Yeah, we
looking
were
at the
just-
stars
yeah.
and stories were flowing.
Yeah.
Is there anything weird about that?
Time
yeah,
was it?
gosh, dang.
It had to have been
Midnight,
like 4 in the
one,
morning.
dude,
1,
yeah.
2.
At one point, the guys were nice enough to give me the master bedroom, and then I was nice enough to let Evan join me. And there was
Out
about
of all people,
Let alone
there
the-
was,
there was 9 of us in that room, and
Yeah.
about 7 of us in the bed.
Let alone you got to walk through the master just to get into the houseboat.
Yeah,
so
so
everybody,
Oh, really?
yeah,
All the
Someone
other
could
guys were
plop
walking
in.
past, and
Yeah.
we're just literally piled into the bed. I'm sure at that point they were like, "These guys are a little sus."
Right.
A little
9
bit.
guys, one bed.
Yeah.
Dude, it was pretty chill until some idiot spilt his Cheetos in the bed. There was crumbs everywhere.
Sounds like something you do.
I will say though, it probably was one of the best times I've had. Just the boys just out in the
Spenny,
woods getting
the
after
hell?
it.
You can't say that, bro.
Saying
CJ.
it that way too is a little getting after it.
Bro.
Out in
We
the
were
woods
getting
by
after it. We were
ourselves.
climbing. We were jet skiing. Dude, me and Ben had a sick jet ski rip. A sweet jet
Really?
ski rip. Yeah.
Tell
the
us
two
about
of
it,
them.
Spenny.
As long as you guys didn't
Oh,
go like
shit.
watch the sunset or anything.
No, we did. We did have a sunset jet ski. A jet ski.
Two of you on one jet ski?
No, we were both on, on
Okay,
our
that
separate,
makes it a lot better.
separate stand-up jet skis, 20 feet away from each other, just cruising the shoreline, checking out the sunset. It was pretty awesome.
You guys ever smile and look into each other's eyes?
We might have.
Probably at least once.
I think we did. Dude.
I think we did.
I
We
think
did for sure.
It was like, this is crazy. It was crazy, though.
It was crazy.
Yeah, it was like a full moment, bro.
Sleeping outside was pretty sick.
Oh yeah, we did sleep
Like,
on the
Just
barge
straight up
under the helicopter.
Yeah, you guys slept over there and then slept up on the roof I slept up one night, but
Well, there's no mosquitoes.
yeah,
there's
no
nothing.
bugs really. Just
Dude,
some
I didn't know
flies.
that
There
that
were-
was even possible.
There were
Too
some
hot
big
out for
spiders in
mosquitoes or
the
what?
Yeah, big
rocks,
spiders.
though.
No, it wouldn't
I
get
believe
hot
that.
till the
Like
sun
Cody
came
saw
out.
one and actually
Yeah.
got scared, and then I got scared. I didn't want to be barefoot out anymore.
Makes sense.
Come about 5 or 5:30, the sun would come out, and then everybody in the top deck's like, "Well, better go find somewhere else to sleep."
Dude, it's like as soon as the sun comes out, though, it's like 95 degrees.
Well, yeah, at 4 in the morning with the breeze whipping, it's 85.
Oh, really?
Like
Yeah.
Oh, it was
literally
hot? Was
hot.
there AC inside the house?
Until they turned it off every morning for some godforsaken reason. So you just woke up dying. I think the generator broke the one day. It wasn't their fault, and they fixed it. But
What was your guys' favorite part of the whole trip?
everybody doing mushrooms.
Everyone did mushrooms?
The entire crew.
Holy shit.
Literally the
I
whole
was
crew.
uncomfortable.
At one point, Ken's
can I-
like wedged between an air mattress and the railing of the
Ken,
of
are
the
you
boat.
okay?
No, or what?
Ken, are you good?
Let me just show
No.
Oh my god.
All right, just play this video.
It's legal in Arizona.
You alright?
No, I'm not over.
Ken was being hilarious.
As he is.
Ken went non-verbal for so long.
No, I'm not okay.
How was Mark doing?
Mark, he was the worst out of all of us.
So how were they?
Dude, laying on the roof of the houseboat, just looking at the stars, and there was a lot of shooting stars.
Yeah,
It was-
It was hard to miss a
It was
shooting
crazy.
star.
We were so out there. There was like no light pollution. I've never seen
Yeah.
the stars brighter.
What was it like being on mushrooms?
Chill.
They're pretty chill.
I think the general consensus
Ken,
is,
that video says otherwise.
I
Ken
think
goes, yeah, pretty chill.
Ken, what? Okay.
Pretty chill.
It was a combination of
Yeah.
everything else we did that evening too.
Yeah.
Yeah, my body was a fucking blender, dude.
So like I ended up doing a little more than everyone else because I wasn't drinking. But then I was thinking about, I'm like, Ken's had like 11 Tonys before this. So like,
but I think the general consensus of everybody is that the mushroom edibles were much friendlier than the THC edibles. You could get into a little more carried away on those.
I did go 1 for 1 with Justin the whole night, and I should not have done that.
Justin had those glasses on and his eyes were just...
I mean, shit. Yeah, that was fun. My favorite part was like whenever Heavy D shows up with a Blackhawk and then lets us get on it. It's always my favorite part.
My personal favorite part was it was so hot, so it is nice to get into the AC for a bit. So pretty much the entire gang's hanging out in the living room. Cody catches this striped bass, like a nice sized bass, and he comes running in all excited, holding the fish like a Tommy gun, like shooting the fish, and all of a sudden he drops it
In the living room.
in the living room. The bass is just going all haywire, and yeah, that was the highlight.
That was pretty funny.
That was cool.
That was funny.
I grabbed the rod and first cast caught a bass.
Really?
I was like, what are the odds, dude?
Yeah.
And I even thought about how sick would it be to catch a fish on my first cast. Yanked in a smallie.
Cody also caught a walleye on a piece of like
He's
fried
like
chicken.
Yeah.
Because like I've heard of guys using like chicken liver or raw chicken and stuff like that for catfish, and they were like, "Yeah, we got some chicken you could use for bait." I'm like, "All right." It was literally just like a breaded chicken strip, and Cody puts it on. I'm like, "This is a dumb idea." Yanks a walleye up like 2 minutes later.
So no go on the tits then.
We'll hold off for now.
What if we got Gavin a BBL at the
Dude.
same time?
If Gavin's going for the BBL, I'd almost have to go for the tits.
Hate to be left out.
I'd hate to be left out if Gavin's getting some mods done.
Bro, Gavin, love the guy to death, but he could use a BBL, or he could just use some leg days.
Dude, it
About
He was getting
6 months of leg
so
days.
pressed, bro.
dude,
We were pressing him pretty hard too,
he's
but he
so-
was getting pressed.
he's like so built everywhere, and I don't know what happened when he crawled out
He's
of the
like
water.
upside
Whatever
down
happened,
pylon.
his shorts came
Well,
down
he
just a
had
little
nothing
bit.
to hold him up.
It was exactly. He's like, well, no kidding. It literally like just
Flat.
shoulders to his
legs.
knees, whatever.
Gabby, he
Kinda
looks like
it was just a back to legs.
Yeah,
literally looks like an
Yeah.
upside down pylon. Like literally, it's just a cone.
I thought he looked like a Lego character. Like look down that, there's just
A back with an ass crack.
So you're thinking about getting him a BBL in Miami
Yeah,
or just anywhere? Can you get those anywhere? I don't know.
I think you'd have to do Miami.
I think we sent him to
the
South
BBL
America,
capital of the
somewhere
world.
cheap, save some money.
Yeah, people die doing that.
If he can ride a 3-wheeler and not die, I think he could take.
Probably.
Dude,
That
if
would be
anything,
the
this
worst
is-
if
yeah,
he
it's-
if he got taken out getting a BBL though. Out of all the legendary things that he's done, like
I'd feel so bad.
he'd want to go out at least in a legendary way. Not getting
Dude,
a BBL.
if anything though, I feel like getting him a BBL is gonna be like good for his 3-wheeling career.
Landing.
It's landing.
Yeah,
He can pinch the seat probably.
Yeah.
less just basically bones to
Yeah.
You
Couple
gotta
airbags.
think it's basically just his hip
A
bones,
couple airbags.
just-
That you could
just
look
his
at it that
hip
way too,
bones
Spanny.
hitting whatever
yeah.
he lands on.
The hard part, I think, for him would be
Yeah,
the
straight
recovery.
tailbone.
How long do you got until you can
Get active.
be active? Isn't it?
So you can use that, put that BBL to
I
work.
thought it was like
Probably
a few
not long.
months.
Look it up.
No way.
Ken, what's
No
the
fucking
recovery
way.
time on a BBL? I bet it's pretty quick because it's not like it's an open surgery.
Yeah, they're just injecting.
Yeah, they're just
your own
injections.
fat, I believe, into your ass. The problem is if they hit like a blood vein or an artery, one of the two, then they basically clog, and then that's how people die. And that's why, like, if you try to cheap out and you go to South America or Mexico or someplace to get it done cheap, that shit happens.
Don't want to do that.
So it's saying initial recovery time is about 2 to 4 weeks, with full results within 3 to 6 months. So I don't
like
know
it's
what a
swelled up,
BBL
or-
is, but isn't it something about like moving your fat around and all that? Or,
It's a Brazilian butt lift.
but it's like moving fat around or something.
problem
What
is,
They
actually
like-
literally suck it out with a giant syringe and then poke a pretty decent sized hole in your ass and then just fill it with fat. It is disgusting.
Dude, the problem is it's not gonna look good for Gavin, but the bright side is for us it'll look really funny. So like it will be hilarious. But like that's the thing, like the girls that get those BBLs, like you can just so clearly tell who's got one, who doesn't. Like if you're in Vegas or whatever, you can just tell like the street performers have them because it's just like literal little chicken legs and then just
A dump
swollen
truck.
ass.
Oh,
It looks
Ken.
like a diaper just fucking hanging. It looks like a fucking full diaper just kind of hanging down.
It's kind of
you know?
lumpy too, because it's
Versus,
never
like-
like a smooth.
Yeah.
It like yeah.
Versus like a girl who just went to the gym and squatted, or in Gavin's case, a guy who went to the gym and did legs.
Ken, can you look up like if there's any guys have gotten a BBL? Like
For sure.
I'm sure they have, but I
yeah.
guess I've just never heard
Dude,
of
there's
it.
guys that get fake fucking
Yeah,
implanted
it's
bicep
insane.
muscles and shit.
Really?
Mhm.
Wow. I didn't
That's
know
Pat-
that.
wild.
and it
Pat-
bro.
looks
It
horrendous.
looks horrendous.
Really?
I don't know if this was rumor or not, but they've alleged that Gucci Mane has got a bunch of.
Gucci man.
They used to say that Liver King had ab implants. It would probably be closer to true than not, but he also was on every steroid and whatnot, so they might have been legit.
This is coming from a company that does BBLs. They're saying, yes, BBLs for males are quite common, but I'm like,
Yeah.
there's no way a dude is actually going to do that.
Dude, there is dude that would do that for sure. Look at Dalton right now. He's already justified his case.
No. I was gonna say Jeffree Star has one. I just looked it up.
Dude, why not just go to the gym? It's really not that hard to probably... I guess for some people it's maybe different, but...
Is this real?
Yes.
Bro,
Really, really,
if you're
really
going to go
stupid
to the
people do it.
extent of getting plastic surgery for muscles, just hop on steroids.
Yeah,
I
but you
would
still
say-
gotta work with steroids though.
Yeah, but it's still like it's not going to take you that
That
long.
is so absurd.
Well, he went to
Yeah.
the gym there just to flex at least.
So it looks like it's just one guy that's done it.
Yeah, just one.
Have you ever seen that guy who got his legs extended?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I keep
to
seeing
get
him pop
taller.
up. That recovery looked brutal.
How long was the
And it's
recovery?
only a
Can you
couple
pull
of
that up?
inches.
Yeah,
It doesn't
like 2 or
seem that.
3.
It was like
Worth it.
2 years, I want to say, and he's like
That is
still
crazy.
recovering. Well, they would like break it and extend it, and then it would be like a few
What
months,
the-
and then they would like
Oh,
extend
that's
it again.
gross. That's so gross, actually.
If you could pay 10 grand for every inch that you gain, would you do it? And how many inches would you pay
I think
for?
I need a short wheelbase for the way I live my life.
Yeah, definitely,
I don't wanna be
definitely
taller.
is yeah.
If I could, I'd maybe add 1 more inch
Where?
all over. But yeah, like maybe 1 more. But I don't.
One more
I,
inch, so you'd be like
I don't-
doubling your stats
All
then.
over.
Yeah, I don't-
CJ's about
I
to have
don't
some
care.
long ass toes.
Maybe not my toes.
Guess where the most plastic surgeons are in the U.S. per capita?
Miami.
It's a good guess.
Oh, Palm Springs.
It's a good guess.
L.A.
It's a great guess. Salt Lake
Mexico?
City.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dude, those Mormon wives,
I
some
know.
of them are pretty.
They love it.
Modified.
They love it.
They're like
Stage 3
going in for a
fucking
monthly
kids.
oil change to get some more lip plumps and
yeah.
forehead lines deleted. Dude, it's so funny watching them move their faces. Like they straight up are like doing full blown expressions and their face isn't moving.
who's they?
like the
TV show.
the-
There's a TV show about
Oh,
it.
Mormon
the
wives?
Yeah, Mormon wives, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty good, actually.
Yeah, I kept asking those guys. I was like, so what's the deal with these chicks? But
yeah.
I don't think they're like trying to claim them
They
or
have
like
code.
proud
They
of that.
probably can't
Yeah.
say much.
Dude, it's
Yeah.
a drama fest.
It is a drama fest.
Dude, I think they're like kind of popping though.
Yeah,
like,
they're popping.
yeah, it's
they're
super
popping big
Big
right
time.
now.
The Mormon wives, they're like cheaters or something.
Cheaters, swingers,
Swingers, yeah, they're
frickin-
doing it all.
Yeah,
But
And
they're
they're-
sober though.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
at least
and
they're
they
staying
they
sober.
have parties and
Yeah,
then everyone just gets in fights at the parties.
Yeah, the weirdest thing is that they're like having these massive blow ups at parties, but everybody's sober.
yeah,
You mean things to make a reality TV show interesting?
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, Evan, come on.
Oh, sorry.
It's all real.
No, but I think that's the worst part about it. It's like just drama, you know.
Yeah, it's
like,
just drama.
Like I've been watching Love Island, and like it's definitely a lot more than just drama. If it was just drama, I think it'd be a shit TV show.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess they're doing something right though.
Yeah.
They got us talking about it.
Well, what do you guys want to talk about? Golf?
Fuck, I love golf.
I wish.
I just ordered some weights for my putter today.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
that's
pumped on
insane.
that.
You showing everybody, and then when I found, I'm like, what is he showing everybody? And you're like, yeah, new weights for my putter. I'm like, oh, we are so rinsed, boys.
Dalton's been like losing sleep the last couple
Over
days because he
grips.
lost his rangefinder.
Yeah, he's asked
Like-
me 3 times. If
he could borrow yours?
You haven't seen a rangefinder around here, have you? No, I haven't. You didn't take it, did you? No, I don't use a rangefinder. Hey, CJ, it's a green and black rangefinder. Have you seen it around here? Nope, still haven't seen it.
He drove me home after golfing. I was piled up. I don't even remember going home. And he's asking me, like, do you remember where I put it? Like, bro, I don't even know how I got home.
That's hilarious.
Speaking of golfing, we're probably due for a
Yeah, dude, I'm
round
trying
here.
to rip one.
Yeah.
Hey, you
Right about now, we're probably
Hey,
due.
you wanna go play today?
We could probably rip 9.
Me and Ben hit a
maybe
quick
18.
9 on our 5-hour layover.
Yeah, it seemed weird leaving the airport for a layover.
Yeah, it was weird.
You know, it's just like,
Yeah.
and I
It's
told
something that your parents don't want you to do.
don't want you to do it.
Like,
and
dude,
also,
if I
my
told my
fiance
mom-
did not want
Yeah.
me to leave that airport. I was like, might go golfing, and she was like, don't.
Why would you do that?
I told
was
my
like,
mom,
why?
and she was so mad. She was like, "You're gonna miss your flight. You're gonna miss your flight, and then I'm not dealing with it." And I was like, "You wouldn't deal with it anyways."
Me and Mike were in that position in Florida a couple years ago, and we chose
and we had like
not to leave.
30 hours, and we chose not to leave.
Yeah, you guys just went and got the gnarliest sunburn of all time, laying on top of the,
the-
hotel.
yeah.
Yeah, the airport hotel, surrounded by asphalt. Just every ray is just pointed straight at your
Beaming us.
body. Dude, you know what's pissing me off is like this whole like you need a real ID thing, right? And I've gone in like multiple times to try and get one, and now they're like selective of when they do it. And I went in today during the time that they do it, and they were like, "Sorry, our system's down." And then I went down the road to another place and sat there for like legit 30 minutes just looking at the because I brought like 50 different documents that have my name and address on it, right? To like prove that I live at this address. And he was like, "I don't think that this is going to go through. You still want me to try?" It was like a mortgage document.
Why is it
that-
so hard to
Dude,
get your
I
real
don't
ID when
know.
you're
Mine was
requiring it?
easy.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Really?
I heard it
A
was.
passport, tax form, driver's license. I brought a bill with my address, which I was told to bring. They didn't even look at that.
Really?
So it was just the 3 things: tax form with social security number, passport, ID.
Dude, he was looking
Pumped it
at
through.
an insurance slip that I had, a mortgage amortization schedule like that I just had like at my house. I was like, "Oh, this is for sure got to work, right? There's no way you could fake this." and then a bunch of different utility bills.
He was just checking out your papers. Just wanted to see what you brought. Probably. He's like, oh, this doesn't even count, but I'll just take a peek.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know what it was, but I was just like, dude, they are making this way too difficult.
Mine was real tough because the house CJ and I live in is owned by a company.
Yeah.
So all like the bills and everything are in the company's name. So I don't have anything other than my credit card statement that proves I live there.
Did you get it?
Yeah, eventually I got it, but it took months.
Why are they doing that?
Because they can. I don't know. It's additional work for the government paper pushers. That's all it is.
Like, are they looking for things for those guys to do?
They're saying now, because so many people are doing it, they're 2.5 months out when we should get our real IDs in the mail.
Because you can't fly without a real ID
Or a passport.
May 1st.
But the problem is now I got a punch driver's license and paperwork that I keep getting
it
hassled
jams
because
you
I
up.
like to go places like the casino and bars, and they don't like to accept paperwork. And I'm pretty sure the paper has an expiration date on it, which I'm not sure when that is.
He's got a photo too.
It does have a photo on it, but like at the airport, not only could I not get a beer, they told me I had to leave the whole
It's got to be a
place.
real pain for you.
Dude, it sucks.
At least 2 of your stops a day, you get a hassle.
Dude,
for
it's just so inconvenient. Like, I wish there was like a better way. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I renewed my ID. Like, is there not? Why should I now basically have this non-valid ID for 2.5 months?
They punch right then and there.
Extremely inconvenient.
Oh, they didn't punch my ID.
So they did give you your real ID.
Yeah. No. They gave
Well,
me
I
my
mean,
ID
but-
back,
but
they
they
didn't punch
accept-
it.
They accepted your shit.
Yeah, they punched it. Never mind.
But Ken, you were saying they might push it back again?
Somebody was saying they because
Thought
it was
about it.
such an absolute disaster at airports, they were just going to push it back another year.
Gosh, dang.
Oh, dude, I'd imagine.
Which they have been
They've been
pushing it back
since
They've,
when?
they've been pushing
Yeah.
it back for 20 years now.
since 2020. Wait, 20 years?
No.
That law was enacted in like 04.
What the?
Okay, I started hearing about it a couple years ago. 20 years is crazy.
Yeah.
I don't.
I believe you. I'm saying it's crazy.
I don't think it's a thing in Canada.
Spenny, we're
I don't
not
think you
gonna
need them.
compare United
No, I
States
don't
to
think you do either.
Just
But-
open your wallet and pull out a pine cone and they let you on the plane. Have a good day.
But,
Yes, that law was originally enacted in 2005, and 2008 was supposed to be the original like effective date, and they've pushed it back
holy.
that far.
Cody got on without a real ID.
Well, I heard right when that, whatever the latest deadline was, what was it, May, whatever.
Month ago, 2 months
Yeah.
ago, whatever it was.
I heard that they were really running people through the ringer that didn't have it like TSA was.
Yeah.
But then that was such an unbelievable jam up. Now they make you hold this little red piece of paper that says non-compliant, and they like give you an extra tap down and then just,
They put it on your, like,
That's
they
it.
put this band around your head and you have to wear it through the airport.
it's just so funny. You look in the line and like every fifth person's holding this little red piece of paper that says non-compliant.
So if Spenny became a dual citizen, if he got his dual citizenship where he was a citizen in Canada and the U.S., could he be drafted?
How old are you, Spenny?
Benny finally gets approved, and they're
26.
Like, well, you're
Oh, I
going
think
to
you're-
war.
I think
That's what I'm wondering.
Stay, buddy.
I think you're too old to be drafted now.
No, but if he was, say, what's the pocket of being drafted?
Like 18 to mid 20s.
26.
Yeah, but they might look at that video of you hopping out that Blackhawk and be like, oh, he's got experience.
Oh,
Benny's
he's active.
When they see those tits, though, I don't know.
They might.
They might turn me away. Might
No,
release me.
Yeah, like, how's that work? Is it only, like, natural-born U.S. citizens?
He's eligible.
He is
Wow.
eligible.
Gosh, that's crazy you even bring this up because last night Sydney was like, you know what's wild to think about? If the draft happened, statistically, one guy in the crew
Is it 1 in 5?
would get drafted. And I was like, yeah, hell,
Yeah,
even
but
two.
we're too old now.
I have a
Oh.
disability, so I wouldn't have been able to anyway.
You're right. I have a disability as well.
I got Crohn's disease. What am I
what's your
gonna do? Run around with a lunch kit with my shot in it?
Poop your pants.
Yeah.
Can't be on time.
I think so.
Yeah.
They're just like, we're not dealing with this guy. He keeps talking back and this, that.
You'd have to learn a whole nother way of time, like
Yeah.
400. Like, what the fuck time is
Didn't
that?
even learn the original
4
time
a.m.
of this one.
I know, but
I think the only
11.
people that could go would be Dalton and Ben.
Oh, dude, Dalton would be the pocket.
Oh,
they would
yeah.
look at him as
Yeah,
such
Dalton-
a beast. They would
He
be
even
like,
looks like it. He even looks like he could be too.
Dude.
A lone fighter.
Dude.
Like they'd send him in as a
Dude.
spy. Like he wouldn't even get like a team or a crew. They'd be like, "All right, you're going in alone." He'd be like, "What? Alone?"
yeah, Dalton, you better be more selective of what you post on social
Yeah.
media. Otherwise, you're going to get put on like the top 0.01%.
Don't be posting that buzz cutter. You'll be getting drafted right away.
They're like, he's already ready to rip.
Yeah, look at him. He's got a
Dalton
mustache
would
and a
be a
buzz
beast,
cut.
though.
He's ready for
I
it.
honestly could see Dalton being a beast. He just goes so hard that he'd be out there just fucking
I could see him being a sniper.
take like a whole town out.
Oh, yeah.
I could see him doing like unnecessary stuff though. Like somebody gets shot
Yeah.
and they're not injured, but then they can walk. And Dalton's like, "Get on my shoulders, I'll carry you out." And the guy's like, "I can walk, I can walk." No, just get on my shoulders.
He's hopping on like the Blackhawk, and he's like, "Yo, can you take a picture of me real quick to like his sergeant?" And he's like,
he'd get
he's
ready
like,
to,
yeah, he's like thirst
Facing
trapping on the, starts doing a little
he's
fucking
like, what's it
TikTok.
look like with my hand up here?
Well, that's what I see you like. You know how they send dudes out just to be cameramen, like just to take pictures and videos. Like that's a legit position,
Yeah.
which I see you having. But then I also see you be like, I need to grab an M16 or some shit.
Bro.
And then-
Hold on, should I get rollers of the tank?
Rollers. Hold up, guys. Hold up. Let me get ahead. I'm gonna get a shot of
Wait.
it leaving town.
But then,
It actually would be pretty fire content.
yeah, you would start recruiting like hella people into the military because the videos would be so fire.
I would want to work my way up to a high rank if I were to go. I wouldn't want to just hold the camera.
Oh yeah, I feel
Like,
you.
if I was gonna go, I'm gonna actually do it.
Well, dude, honestly, I think the guy with the camera's got the biggest fucking balls out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that shit.
All he's got is a pistol.
What's he-
Bro, have you
Someone
ever
comes
seen-
after you, just oh shit.
Have you ever seen World War II in color on Netflix? Basically, they took all this old film and colorized it and then, like, narrated over it and put sounds and shit. And the whole time, all I was thinking was, like, bro, you get drafted and you're already like, fuck. And then they go, all right, gun. All right, here's a camera.
Yeah.
And you're like, camera? What am I supposed to do with this? And they drop you off on the bank. Everyone's shooting you. Like, what the fuck is this? The whole time also I was wondering, I was like, man, it's amazing that these camera guys even made it back. Like, just think how many of them probably, like how much footage was lost or whatever. But yeah, like that's a real thing. Unless there was some kind of treaty where it's like, we're not going to shoot the cameraman.
I don't think
But I
that's
don't
how
think
war
that's-
works.
I don't think that's how, like, you know, the Japanese or the Nazis or any of them.
Yeah, when they were coming in their kamikaze planes, they weren't like, "Oh, abort
wait,
mission."
camera-
Hold
Right
up.
there,
There's a
go there.
cameraman.
Dalton's just
Bro,
like,
you got this camera just fucking lugging around. You're like, what is this?
You see a drill sergeant, pan.
I'm in the Blackhawk trying to upload footage to Pat.
Yeah,
And
Dalton-
shooting
Dalton-
at us, I'm like, bro, chill.
Got
chill.
the
I got,
Starlink.
5 minutes left on the
Dalton's like, let me put the Starlink up. I need to drop footage to Pat.
I'd put
Dude,
up a
I would
fight
be
if they tried to
pissed
draft
if
you.
Dalton got drafted.
I would be too. I'd be like, you sure you want this guy? He's actually not that. Like, I'd be trying to talk him out of it.
Yeah, look at these TikToks. Look at this. You
Yeah,
don't.
he's been doing this in the lockers or whatever. The barracks.
Look at this. He's got filters on. You don't want him down there.
I was talking to my buddy. He's a Marine, and he was telling me that there's like the Marines that are in the band, and I was like, it just seems
Is the band what we
Like,
think it is?
You are making music.
yes,
The Marine band? Is
yes,
a band?
yes.
Is there
that
just
mean?
one?
I don't
What
think
do you
so,
mean?
but
Like,
you have
what
to
do
do
they
all
do?
the same train, like these Marines, right? They go through the gnarliest training.
Like they got their main gig, and then they're like, "Oh, like I'm also in the band."
I don't know. Look it up. Actually, that's a good
cool.
question. I guess I didn't ask
Yeah,
that.
I was picturing like drums, guitar, bass, but it's like
Dude,
an
but
orchestra.
can you imagine if you're like running
it's a
an
marching
attack?
band.
Think about like the beach when they storm the beach or whatever. But if they had,
But there's
They
music
pull
in
up
the
with the
background,
band?
yeah, just to like fire up the
Dude,
crew.
just to get everyone going.
dude, I got goosebumps just thinking about it.
Actually, hearing like all the stuff that was like going on with like the bombs. Not very often are you like sitting there thinking about the safety of our country, because I feel like, well, one, we're living in the middle of the country in like the most like probably least expected spot to have like any real danger. But I was like, dude, they are so pissed off at us. They hate us so much. Like they're going to try and retaliate. And what is going to happen because of this? Where I was like kind of concerned about the safety of our country for like the first time ever.
To be fair, they've hated us for the last like 40 years. So what did they bomb? Did they bomb the spot where they have all the uranium? Because they were building basically an atomic bomb.
The
And they
US,
were saying they
US
weren't.
bombed like the facility where they were like enriching the uranium.
Yeah, exactly. And so enriched uranium is what you need to make an atomic bomb.
Yeah.
And
Nuclear bomb.
why are they building it? You know, like if you're not planning on using it, and they've been lying saying that they weren't building it, but they obviously are, they think there's like a bunker. So I'm assuming that's what they,
There's like 3 different facilities that the U.S. bombed in Iran.
which was a smart play.
I don't know. It's hard to know what's
How do
going
you
on.
get the
I've seen a
uranium?
bunch of different
It's,
videos.
yeah,
A
it's
lot
so
of
hard to know
uranium,
what's real or
weren't you?
Yeah,
fake.
I like kind of got like on that like TikTok thread of
Yeah, me too.
just
me
like
too.
recommended so many different videos just based on that. It's hard to know like which ones are true, and you
Yeah.
got like both sides. You know, one side saying that it was the best thing that could have happened, the other side saying that it's the worst thing that could have happened, and then you got people saying like, oh, they missed, and here's proof of it, and then there's other people saying like there's no possible way they could have missed, and even if they were close enough, it wouldn't have destroyed the like, because it was what,
Yeah, it's
80,
hard to say
80
what's
feet
real.
underground or something that they were saying.
About 300 feet underground.
Oh, 300 feet underground.
Supposedly there was like a plane or some kind of bomb that then would like go in, or it was
It's
like,
called like a bunker buster bomb.
buster.
So like when it
Bunker
hits the
buster.
ground, there's one charge that goes off that then like drills
Sends
that
it,
one
yeah.
further down until it like gets near the bunker
Yeah.
where that second one then blows up.
From what I gathered, it seemed like a smart play to me, because like you definitely don't want them having this bomb that's capable of mass destruction, because I do believe they'd probably use it because they fucking hate us. They fucking suicide bombed
Yeah.
for years.
Yeah.
Like they think they're doing something honorable, so like they probably think like, oh, if we destroy all of us in the process, we're going to this better spot. But I don't know if that's truly what Iran believes. I just know that's what the Taliban believes.
No, Iran like hates their slogan is like death to America. or
Yeah,
something.
their slogan is death to
It's a
America.
terrible slogan, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
It seems wild that you would create an enemy out of the most powerful country in the world.
Well, yeah, and that's the other thing. I saw this visual showing how many like fighter jets each country had, and
Yep.
Iran was literally the smallest, and they had like
300 or something like that.
300,
The U.S. had
and-
14,000. The one thing I've taken away from all of that going on in the news is how gnarly the B-2 bomber is. The plane that they flew over there and dropped like the bunker busters in. Each bomb weighs 15,000 pounds. Wait, no, is it 30,000 pounds of bomb?
I think it was
I think it's 30,000 pounds of bomb.
30,000 a bomb.
Yeah. So flying with 60,000 pounds.
Yeah.
And these things are going under the radar. Like they're like completely stealth. Dude, it's like the only plane that can like move the way that it does without getting detected by
I think
the
it
radar.
can fly. It has enough gas. It can fly around the world once with the gas.
They got it
insane.
with refueling stops in the air.
Oh, okay.
I think it's like 5,000 miles it can go before it.
But each one is $2 billion.
They're getting replaced too.
Yeah, I saw that. But the U.S. has like 21 of them.
I think
And
Heavy
that-
D's
because
going to try to pick one up.
Probably.
Like, they go to auction or something.
I'd imagine so. He'll pick it up for pennies on the dollar. And he'll refurb it. And then the next thing you know, we'll be flying in the back of it.
I'll just take one ride, though. You know, that whole once-in-a-lifetime thing or whatever.
What's that helicopter that he's looking at or just got, or
Chinook?
2 chopper ones, the huge cargo helicopters? Like, how freaking cool is that? That thing can literally carry a tank.
Could carry multiple cars, tank.
Couple Humvees.
Dude, that's crazy. Just helicopter into
Ryan?
a spot, have all your toys. Truck.
Yeah.
Like a truck with
Yeah.
your bikes in the back, just land, drive right
That's
out.
the play. I think the biggest thing that was like, I guess, to take away from it is, one, taking away their nuclear power, but two, it's like showing how good the U.S. is at doing something of this scale and going completely undetected and then being a success. And it like shows the power of it to the rest of the countries.
I think
Kind of just like
also-
Trump swinging his nuts
Yeah,
of
it
like,
just
this
sets
is,
an example, like not to mess with him.
it was like a going thing that people were saying like, he's all talk.
Yeah,
All
exactly.
talk.
Well,
And
he
then
just
this
showed that.
one was like, yeah.
Other countries are probably like, I don't really want to mess with them because I don't know what he will do.
Trump was in Canada right before it, too, for a meeting. Did you guys know about that?
No, I didn't.
There's a meeting right near Calgary called the G7 for all the world leaders. And Trump was there and he left and didn't meet some of the leaders, and everybody was mad. They had like so much police in the city. They toured him out to Banff, and they had a meeting in Banff, and the whole Banff area was shut down. It was pretty insane. Like you couldn't even go into Banff or do anything.
I bet that fired the Canadians up though, yeah?
Like they were definitely taking high alert when Trump was there.
What did they think he was going to do?
He's like a 50-50 like or hate in Canada. Like,
Oh, so it's like the U.S.
it's like the U.S., yeah.
So do people in Canada like follow U.S. news?
Yeah, I mean, we get a lot of it for sure. Honestly, just around the world, they know what's going on with Trump for
Yeah.
sure. Like, they know what's going on in the U.S. It's definitely like a talked about thing in all countries, I would say. Like when he's making big moves and stuff, and the elections, everybody's watching the elections. Like world round, the elections getting watched.
I love watching like Australian news reporting on
Yeah.
US. So Spenny, Evan toasted the tire on your bike last night or what?
Yep.
Yeah.
Brand new bike.
He did the same thing to me.
Jumped
when I got
on
a
it
new
and
bike.
just toasted it.
Did I burn a tire off your bike?
He did
No
the same thing
remorse.
to my
More or less.
R6 one
Which
time.
which bike?
my Goldwing.
You want to know how I'm gonna?
You butted it up
Oh.
against the Stark crate and just heated it up.
Okay,
but
that I would say I did much more damage to your Goldwing tire. Yeah, propping it up, getting it hot, and
Yeah.
just staying in it. Were you there when I did that? Even?
I was there physically.
Yeah, that's right. You were probably like
But
giving me thumbs up
I do
about
remember that half of it was a burnout and half of it was a clutch burn. But then it was just hilarious. Spenny's like, yeah, my tire's all toast because Evan was piled up last night. Gave that thing with 4 miles of fresh heater. And then I was like, dang, he's getting a track record for it.
Is it cooked? It's not cooked, but I mean, it definitely took some life off of it.
it. You just said you're putting a moto tire on it, anyways.
Well, at some point, I'm gonna. That doesn't mean you got to go jump on a guy's brand new bike and roast his tire.
I wanted to see what it could do. Couple license plate scrapes, couple burnies, you know.
Really?
Swa-
You dropped her back?
Could have drag fender.
Yeah, we were dragging.
Oh, yeah,
fender.
I-
We both did.
I could
Really?
I could
Yeah, we both
snap
did.
that license plate off
That's
right
sick.
now.
Dude, that's actually pretty sick.
yeah.
It's a motorcycle.
That's
It's
the
a
same
dirt-
bike
yeah, but
that
it's a
Evan
big
jumped into the
motorcycle.
pond.
No.
It's a
No.
450.
This is a different one. So this is like this is the newest one that they just dropped.
It's way smaller, right?
Yeah. It's basically a 450. A 450 dirt bike with like a big tank, fairings and like dual sport tires and like KYB suspensions. It's actually pretty sick. I've been loving it.
You guys ever seen the show, or maybe it's a movie? I think it's called Great Way Around.
No.
Never heard of it.
It's two guys that hop on BMW like
GS's. I actually
GS
have
motorcycles, and they
Yep.
ride motorcycle around the entire world.
I have seen that.
They got to take some
That's so
boats
cool.
at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, they ferry. They ferry.
Yeah, they
They're
ferry.
fair. Couple of fit.
They're
Sounds
ferries.
like if Ben and Spenny went on a cross country adventure. Look at these
Me and
ferries.
Ben went dual sporting.
1 tent, one sleeping bag.
We do got to do some.
How
dual
did I get
sporting,
roped
though.
into this shit?
After the weekend, yeah.
I was just the storyteller.
You're the new guy,
Hey.
Ben.
Hey, I was just storyteller.
You're the new guy.
No.
I mean, there was one other couple on the boat.
Who?
We'll just let that go.
All right. We do got to do some dual sporting though. Even Mike jumped on it and he's like, dude, it's pretty sick. You can just ride that thing on the road and then
Yeah,
just
Mike.
pop off and rip on the track.
Get another motorcycle.
Might as well.
Sell the Harley. Get a dual sport.
No, you
Fudge.
won't.
No, Mike doesn't sell.
No, I don't sell, just like CJ.
Do you still have the Goldwing?
Yeah.
What do you foresee is in the future for that unit?
I don't know, man. I literally don't know.
Should turn it into like a amphibious Goldwing or something.
That'd be pretty good. I mean, I don't really have any use for it right now, to be honest.
I wanted to get a Harley for this summer.
I want to clean up. that red one and ride that
Yeah,
thing.
you guys should just
that.
ride ours.
Dude, Harleys are so lame.
Shut up, Evan. You love Harleys.
You have ridden Harleys more than anyone
You
in this
ride
group.
them and you enjoy them.
I've never ridden them other than for content. Second, I just told this to Mike like an hour before the podcast. The only time I remotely felt the vibe of a Harley is when I was blasting like Booby Ludovelli through the Moab canyons on like the one bike had a pretty nice sound system.
You were enjoying it. You were
I mean,
riding
just-
it like a
I
Harley
would-
With your
should.
darker
When there's
buddy.
No cameras or anything. That's what
Yeah,
you
me
would
and
be
Spenny
doing.
With your
are
darker buddy.
we're cutting up Moab, blasting
was
some
fun.
tunes. But yeah,
guys
I
look
just
cool
there's
on
so
it.
many other functional bikes. I feel like why not have something
Actually,
that performs?
I guess, yeah. What is your, like, if you were to get a bike right now?
Maybe
no-
an MT-09.
Okay, yeah. That'd be lit.
Maybe.
So
I mean, an R6 also, like, how could you go wrong with a classic R6? But MT-09's like a nice blend. Even the 7.
You actually
whatever.
like the R6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen
I
what
mean,
he's
it's the
done?
sickest bike ever
Dude,
made.
Bro, there's no one that has ridden an R6 the way Evan
Dude,
has.
I'm kicking myself for not jumping on Big Wrench's buddy's R6.
Should have.
Murdered out black, like, 09 R6.
I don't know why we didn't buy that. He sent it a couple
we're in a
times, and
hard
I
time
was
because
just
we didn't have any projects
to
for
pay
it.
for taxes.
I guarantee you that.
Yeah, taxes.
this-
We
That's
were
why.
probably trying to save
we
money. at
can't
the
buy
moment.
one without a project because then it'll just get thrashed. But if we buy one for a project and it's too nice, then I don't know. There's this is a happy medium.
It's just such a, like, kind of like CJ's is just like, a pristine R6. I
so
feel like
nice.
this black one's just a little older generation. It was murdered out black. It was so good. Like all of our R6s are nice,
Yeah,
but
but in
this one was special.
In reality, bro, you don't need a fast
you
motorcycle. It's not a good idea.
I should just get a Grom.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
But also, I could never drive a Grom on public roads.
Stick to the
Honestly,
patio.
It's just such a
Grom.
bad look.
Yeah.
Or I mean,
I'm not gonna
Papios.
lie.
Papios are cool.
Stick
Same
to the
thing as a
patio.
Grom, though. Fun for stunting.
Yeah.
Let me rip the parking lot
don't
on
look
it. Let
cool
me
on
drive it up Hell's Gate. But I really don't want to commute. I would Grom if I was in a pack of dudes doing wheelies. I'm only hating on the Grom for if you're just solo mission commuting somewhere. It just feels so.
I mean, either way, they're fun. Clearly, like you would have a blast, but it's the same thing as if you saw a pack of dudes on pit bike 110s doing wheelies down the street versus a pack of dudes on 250s and 450s doing wheelies. The dudes on 250s and 450s are gonna look way cooler than the dudes putzing around doing little wheelies on the 110.
It's true.
And I'd be the dude on the 110, so I can say that.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of want to get like a road glide maybe. I would ride it like twice though.
Yeah, you
That's
would.
what I mean. Like, other than like our one trip to Sturgis, like what use do you have for that bike?
No, I don't.
That
none,
actually would be
none.
a Sturgis guy thing to do, though. Is
Yeah.
drop a bag on a bike
Yes,
to
yeah.
look cool in Sturgis for 3 days.
Yeah.
I was thinking I'd just rent one.
There you
No,
go.
but I mean, for our Sturgis plans, it doesn't make sense for what we're planning on
Harley
doing
truck.
to Sturgis this year.
We got the build we're doing. We got last year's build, the K truck. We got the build we're doing this year. We got 3 street glides.
Yeah, so it doesn't even make sense to get a bike, and I also
Some
know I would
guys,
just ride it
that's gonna be
twice.
hard to make.
It's a real thing when you have so many toys. You won't end up using. You just don't get to use them as much as you'd like. And Mike knows it better than anyone. But even really me, like I really don't hardly ever ride my R6 because it's just.
I forgot you had one.
impractical. It's impractical because
Forgot
like,
you had
I
one.
gotta go or I'm carrying something or I have a passenger.
You can't throw your golf
Yeah,
golf bag on the
golf
back of
bag
the
on
R6.
the
You
back.
actually can.
No, yeah, you can.
You
You
could
can get
wear
them
it.
out.
Yeah, you
I've
could.
seen clips.
It's
Yeah, you
just
could.
it's kind of a
And that would
pain
be us.
though, like to get around. It really is.
The only reason that I remembered that you had an R6 is that I almost backed into it yesterday with the El Camino because the brakes, when it's sitting for a while, they don't work that great. So I'm just pushing them to the floor, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to run into this shelf. And between the shelf and my car was your R6.
How funny would it be if you destroyed CJ's
Sitting
R6
there.
without even
I am
driving
glad
it?
it's still doing all right. You know, so we, I'm just glad like he hasn't like come home from
I think you took the key, didn't
18
you?
holes and then Zorbas and then decided that he was gonna take my R6 for a burnout or
A
something.
standard afternoon.
Yeah.
A standard
And not
afternoon
warm
for
it up
Evan.
and then pop the motor or something. Although the motors on R6s don't blow up as we've learned.
Ryan did manage to blow one up. The only one.
That's true. But that's
I
because it was
gotta-
in a quad. The motor wasn't happy.
It was very
Oh.
uncomfortable.
So our old shop hand Tanner, he texted me this week and was like, "Hey, like, could I take your R6 out?" And I was like, "Yeah." So he took it out for the day, and I like texted him like the next day, and I was like, "Hey, what'd you think of it?" And he's like, "It was fun, but like, kind of hard on the wrists and the back." And then he's like 19 saying that, so I'm like, "Yeah, everyone feels it."
Dude, riding that how many miles do we ride in Sturgis last year? Just, like
12.
I was beat up from riding. Granted, the R6 I was riding is pounded. A lot of play.
I think that one might actually be smoother than a normal R6 because this like the suspension moves more versus being rock hard.
up and down it's supposed to, but not front to back.
That's true.
But yeah, just crouched over on those things. I mean, you gotta be passionate about that crotch rocket lifestyle.
Yeah.
And
You're
that's
all
I
in.
think the biggest problem with it, but it also looks so cool that I don't want to sell it.
It is
Like
sick,
looking at
dude.
it.
It's a sweet bike.
And I do like driving it to like a short distance, like 2 miles down the road to like go get a candy bar.
My dad had the it's like the touring version of
FJR.
the R6 or crotch rocket FJR, Yamaha FJR, and he put like 1 billion miles on that thing. Like he would travel all over the place. Like I think he did like all 50 states on that bike.
Your dad has put, like you're saying, a shitload of miles on bikes.
Shitload.
Has he ever came across a deer or laid one down or?
I don't think he has.
There is that story though when he came across that guy who sped past him in the middle of the night.
Yep.
He was on this road, right? And this dude just flies past him. I think it was raining, maybe even is the part of the story. Flies past him and then probably 5-10 miles up the road, comes up, the car's crashed in the ditch. A cow. He hit a cow on the road,
Holy.
going very fast, and the car was on fire, and like his either wife or fiance or girlfriend was in the like freaking out, and the guy was dead.
Dude, that's what I was thinking when we were we were around Kansas City or somewhere when we were driving to Missouri. We're on like 5 lanes of traffic, big concrete walls on the side, and there were some bikes just cutting up, ripping. And yes, you got to look out for other cars, but I feel like the wildlife is less of a concern. Like around Minnesota,
Sketchy.
it's just so
sketchy.
out of
The
your
other thing,
control. Like
a deer could come flying out in front of you on the bike, and if you hit it, you're freaking.
you can be the best rider, you can be paying such good attention, but when there's a forest 4 feet off the road, and the deer, there's just nothing you
The
can
other
do.
thing too is like those bikes are so fast, so it's like every time I hop on the thing, I allegedly touch like 100 because it's just easy. You could easily
Yeah, in
just
first
hit,
gear.
Yeah, you
Kilometers.
could just hit a turtle. If you just tap the turtle.
Okay,
it would-
come on now, CJ. We're talking about deer running out of the woods. Turtle.
No, it's true though. A turtle.
You should be able to avoid the turtle.
At
bro.
100 though, you don't see it. It blends in with the road. It's just
Yeah.
hunch. Kung. It'll just set you off enough.
Okay, I guess speaking of hitting turtles, do you remember when Ken is pulling the wake boat with his Tesla?
Oh, yes, we felt it was the biggest. It wasn't a turtle. That was a tortoise. Ken
It was the size of this
I
table.
thought Ken had a flat tire and a bent wheel after that, and he was pulling my boat behind his Tesla Plaid. I thought the hitch was gonna fall off. We hit so
and
hard.
There was oncoming traffic, and like I couldn't really swerve to do much, so just kind of like just ran that thing over.
From what I was in the
Jeez.
car, and I just remember you making a noise.
I was just like, oh,
And just, it felt so violent. Like, what are we dragging? What did we break a battery off this thing?
car was fine. Just had some turtle guts on the
Yeah,
undercarriage,
not my
but
boat. Tortoises are a luxury pet, just like
Yeah.
bees. Just like bees, which I'm still getting.
Are you getting bees?
Bro,
Dude,
what
I
are
don't-
you
I
gonna
don't think
do with
bees
the?
are
I'm putting them on the track.
No, bees are almost strictly business, my guy.
No.
Yeah, bees are
Oh,
My
luxury
business.
pet.
Like,
My bees are. a
Yeah, it looks
luxury
like
pet.
CJ
Who do you
finally
fucking
made
know
it,
that's
huh?
got
Next
but-
podcast, he's going to be talking about a worm farm.
but you can't just get them and then say
Bro,
they're
it's-
luxury pet.
DJ
It's a
is just
luxury
looking
pet.
for happiness in the form of another.
It's a luxury
living
pet. Yeah.
being.
You were
Gave up on
considering
the
a dog. Ah, fuck it. I'll go with the bees.
The bees are easier, and I figured Ken could take care of them.
What do we do with the bees in the winter?
No.
Ken
Yeah,
in
what
the
do you
suit.
do with the bees?
You going to put them in your house?
Might have to
merch
for the
barn.
winter.
In the merch bar?
like you're getting a dog too.
I was all set up, and then I pulled it out.
A Frenchie?
No, it was an English bulldog.
English bulldog?
I talked
I'm not
him out
home
of it.
enough. Alex isn't home enough.
Makes sense.
I wasn't gonna bring it to the shop because then it'll get all dirty, and then it'll come home, and then Alex. We have everything in the house is white because that's what Alex likes, and she likes everything super clean. So it would get everything
Stay out
dirty.
there.
That three-wheeler Gavin's never been in your house, has he?
Yeah, he has. In there.
He,
Oh, that-
he came in there once and he just made an absolute mess out of the place.
Bro,
and
you
left.
guys, like out of everyone's house, everyone probably comes there the most. And Alex is like just so clean and like there's nothing dirty in the house. And then like you guys all come over and just tear it up. And she's just like inside
Stressing?
out.
Dude,
just
I kind of want to
stressing
sneak in there
that I help.
sometime. Just use the toilet.
Dude,
Never
I
come
feel
over.
like I get that you guys all have like your personal space, but like everything that you buy is partially because of me as well. Same vice versa. Everything I buy is because of you guys.
I help pay for that toilet.
And I feel I feel like if anyone gets to like enjoy it or share it with, I'm all right with it being my business partners.
I agree. That's where I'm at too. And honestly, even if it wasn't, I mean, you guys are my best friends. So it's like, yeah, you might be a little dirty. You might, you might smell. You might smell. And some
But
of
this
you-
is just what we're
some of
working
you
with,
might,
Alex.
might destroy the toilet every time you come over. So be it. That's how it is. And I'm not gonna not have you over at my house because of that. So
Does Alex clean the entire house?
well, with Ken downstairs,
That's
no,
where I was
she-
getting that.
She drops the downstairs.
She doesn't do the basement.
She did for a while, but it was so bad.
Have you tried to pay her?
She'll vacuum the downstairs, but like Ken's bathroom shouldn't
Like,
touch.
what do you think the price tag would be on Ken's bathroom?
Once Ken gets out of the house, like probably gonna just gut that whole place.
Yeah, no shit. Ken, I
bathroom's a
can't
total
believe
loss.
I can't Ken, you are the most, like, I would say extravagant guy I know with your amenities, right? You got fine taste. When I go into your bathroom and I see your toilet, your prized possession, and dude, I can barely sit on that thing. The only thing I think of, how the fuck does Ken deal with this every
Runs
day?
that thing
Every night
hard.
for an hour.
It kind of got to the point where it was like, okay, I'm gonna build my own house, and then I don't have to worry about the short shower or the super weird.
What does this have to do with a dirty toilet?
I was like, I can't believe Ken didn't just put a bidet and a normal sized toilet in this thing. It's like one of those toilets that when you're sitting on it, like your knees almost go up because you're sitting so low.
Definitely
the short
It's
bowl.
the kids
So
a 90s,
low.
it's a 90s toilet and it's like very small, like it's short this way too, so it's like
More of a
like,
circle than
it's
an
more
oval.
of a circle than an oval. But so back when we were co-owning it and we were remodeling it, I mean, I put new toilets in the upstairs, downstairs, and like installed them and everything. Ken could have very easily have picked up a toilet and had it split 3 ways in the cost of it, but he just didn't want to do it.
That bathroom needs more than a toilet. It needs like new flooring.
shit.
But I mean,
He could have done all
a couple
that.
$100 toilet wouldn't have been the end of the world.
Toilet literally would take 15 minutes to swap out. It's so easy. But now it's like yours is so far gone, I'm not touching it.
Got it.
Like, I'm waiting until the demo crew comes in and just fucking starts tearing it out.
Well, all right, boys.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Mike.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
I'm happy to be hanging with you guys again.
Drop a comment. Talk to me. Subscribe if you haven't.
Talk to me, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike will be in the comments responding.
The last thing about like having your buddies on your stuff freaking all dirty and greasy and whatever. Gavin got back from Trike Fest and straight to the private jet. Like he showed up basically that night, and then that morning we got on the private jet, and he easily the muddiest boots I've ever seen on any private plane. Like he's like, sorry boys, I came straight from Trike Fest.
Why don't you just bang them together?
I know.
a couple
He,
times
like,
at
left
least?
the
Have
mud-
some common
mud
ground.
chips
And
all
when he
over
was
it.
sitting there, it's like, you know, just
Every
like,
time he moves, a little bit falls off.
yeah, because
Yeah.
it gets dry and
Yeah,
brittle.
yeah.
And he, you know, he's sitting there, he's drinking 15 Tonys on the way there, and he's just, you know, he's laughing, he's banging his boots together when he's laughing, right?
Jesus.
By the time we got off that plane, the two pilots were standing there with like the little hand Dyson vacuums like in their hand, and before the last one was off, they started cleaning
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, dude, I'm all for getting muddy, but you don't got to drag it with you for the next month afterwards, though.
Thanks for listening, boys and girls, and we'll see you next week, next Tuesday. See ya.
Peace.